We all use apps every single day, right? But what if I told you there's a totally new kind of application that's about to flip the entire digital world on its head? Today, we're diving into the game-changing world of DApps. That's DApps, or Decentralized Applications. And trust me, they matter a lot more than you probably think. Okay, let's get into it. But first, let's just start with a really simple question. Think about the apps you use all the time, the ones you open the second you wake up. Who's actually pulling the strings behind the curtain? Who's making money from every single scroll, click, and conversation you have? The answer? Well, it might just surprise you.
You know, the way most of our apps work today is kind of like a black box. But once you take a little peek inside, you realize it all comes down to two really important things: control and data.
I want you to imagine a digital kingdom where one single ruler controls all the information. Every single message you send, every photo you like, it's all collected and stored in their giant central castle. In a nutshell, that's the centralized model. And in this kingdom, your data is the crown jewel.
So yeah, in this world, your privacy is basically the price of admission. The platform gets to take your data and use it to sell super targeted ads, which pretty much makes you the product. But what if there was a way to take back your digital self? That's exactly where DApps come into the picture. Okay, so let's talk about a totally different kind of digital world, one that isn't built on a central kingdom, but on a foundation of, well, decentralization. Welcome to the world of DApps.
So what in the world is a DApp? Well, instead of a kingdom, imagine a digital co-op, where every single user has a real stake and a real say in how the app is run. It's not owned by some big corporation, it's powered by its own community on a public shared network. A DApp is basically an application by the people for the people. So, what is the real, actual difference between the apps you're used to and these new DApps? Let's break it down, because this is where things get really interesting. What's so amazing about this comparison is how it shows the massive power shift. With traditional Facebook, you're the product they're selling. But in a DApp version, you're the owner. You control your own data, you own your identity, and the rules aren't being handed down from a boardroom, they're decided by the users themselves. It is a fundamental flip of the entire model. So, how is any of this even possible? Well, the secret sauce is something called the blockchain. Just think of it like a digital ledger book that's shared publicly, so it's completely transparent. But it's also cryptographically secured, which makes it totally tamper-proof. It's the foundation of trust in a world where you don't have to trust a central company. All right, the second piece of this puzzle is the smart contract. And the best way to think about it, it's like a digital vending machine. You put in a coin, or in this case, a crypto token, and you are guaranteed to get that soda. There's no middleman. The rules are just baked right into the code. And once that machine is built and put on the blockchain, no one, not even the person who created it, can change the rules. Okay, so that's all the theory, but what does this whole revolution actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look at some of the dApps that are already out there making waves and showing us what's possible. Gaming is one area where dApps are seriously starting to shine. Imagine a world where all the hours you pour into a game and all the rare items you find are actually yours, like real assets you can own, trade, or even sell on an open market. That's the power of play-to-earn gaming, and it's completely changing the economics of virtual worlds. Are you tired of jumping through a million security hoops and trusting some company with your money just to trade crypto? Well, with a decentralized exchange, or a DEX, you are in complete control. You trade directly from your own wallet. That means you never have to hand over your personal information or your assets, which completely eliminates the risk of those massive company-wide data breaches we hear about all the time. And this brings us to the next big frontier, the Metaverse. You know, dApps are really the key to building it right this time. Imagine a virtual world where your digital land, your avatar's cool new jacket, all your digital creations are verifiably yours, not just licensed to you by a corporation. It's the promise of a metaverse that's governed by fair, transparent rules, not by the whims of a single company. So the future for dApps is incredibly bright, but let's be real, we're still in the very, very early days. It's this huge landscape of raw potential and a ton of bold experiments. So what's next for this revolutionary technology? Honestly, we're standing on the edge of a new digital revolution. It feels a lot like the Wild West of the early internet. It's chaotic, it's exciting, it's an explosion of innovation. And right now, the next Google or Amazon of the decentralized world is probably being built in somebody's garage somewhere.
But in this new digital gold rush, it's the projects that have real-world utility that are ultimately going to strike it rich. DApps that solve genuine problems, whether it's giving artists more control over their art or creating more secure financial systems, those are the ones that will stand the test of time and become a part of our daily lives. And this kind of leaves us with a really provocative thought. The line between the apps you use today and the DApps of tomorrow is already starting to blur. So the next time you download an app, just ask yourself, who's really in control here? Because the answer to that question might just change the way you see the entire digital world.